Morning, everybody. Welcome to LOCPOD, Belgium's top-rated podcast.
You look like all like in sync today. Look, the coffee mug matches the
what is that?
Sweatshirt.
Hoodie. Let me get a...
You got
Wow.
Which matches the wall.
Did your wife get that for you?
No. Jill did. Thank you.
Oh, what did you get
hoodie?
your dad for?
The hoodie.
What did you get your dad, Lindsay, for?
Christmas?
It was Christmas, dude. That's what people
I got
do.
him candles because he's a candle
Oh, that was
man.
nice
She
of
did.
you. I did not get a... Jill, I did not get a LOCPOD hoodie.
Really? I thought everybody got him.
I didn't
John?
get one either.
No.
You guys didn't get a sweatshirt with
No.
LOCPOD on it?
Thank you, Jill.
Oh. Well,
Appreciate
you know,
it, dude.
she knows
Who
you
the
got to take care of the
locomotive
locomotive, right?
The
She knows where her
locomotive
bread
and
is
The
buttered.
locomotive. The locomotive.
The LOCPOD-omotive.
LOCPOD-omotive. She knows what's up.
Wow,
I mean,
Jill.
thank you, Jill.
Unbelievable.
It's a great gift. Look at
Look
this.
at you
is
showing
really
it off,
sharp.
too. He brought it in
I
today.
got my
It's really
LOCPOD
sharp.
hoodie. Yeah.
You rolled it in. We're like, where'd you get that?
I got my LOCPOD
Jill.
hoodie, drinking out of my LOCPOD coffee
See
cup.
That is for... Thank you, Marissa,
Buy
for
your
those.
LOCPOD logo.
Yeah,
My
on the
LOCPOD
wall.
logo. Yeah.
Remember when we talked about creating swag and selling it?
Yeah, we talked about a lot of things.
That'd be our
Banana
business
hammock.
manager's
Yeah,
job,
John,
wouldn't it?
We talked about using sound effects, too.
Oh, here we go.
Actually, we spent money on that.
I still get them going. It just takes a little bit longer. Yeah.
He just has to wet his lips. That's
Season
our
6.
sound effect machine.
Season 6.
John's mouth.
Wait till season 6,
Wait.
ladies and gentlemen.
We might even be streaming on YouTube by then.
you suck,
That was
man.
another
Whoa!
thing. Here we go. We're going down.
I mean, wow.
We're going down.
Sorry, John. So we got a great show today, everybody.
Great
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're hopefully you're going to have a guest, but who knows?
Well, like we
Should we tease?
We're
supposed to have-
stressed out right
I don't even
now.
want to tease it.
we're supposed to have Tommy DiCarlo, the singer of the band Boston. He's the current lead singer for Boston.
But
What?
We haven't heard from him. We don't know
we haven't heard from him.
him or Steve.
We're assuming Tommy DiCarlo's in California, and we're doing the quick math, thinking, wow, it's freaking
It's
it's
like
early out
5:30
there.
a.m.
Son may
over
be
there.
up in L.A.,
Well, I mean, your brother does it, but
If you're-
he's related by blood.
and he's probably out trying to get surfed. Yeah, right.
You're not related to Tommy DiCarlo, are
I'm
you?
not related to Tommy DiCarlo. Maybe he's in Boston and not in. It's only like 8:30.
I would think he would be in Boston. It would be like right in the middle of the workday, right at the beginning. It'd be,
Right in the middle, 8:30 a.m.
He'd be sitting there
for
drinking
rock
his
and roll
coffee.
bands.
the
They're always
middle
up
of
at
the day for
8:30.
Yeah, that is really damn early for a rock and roller.
I don't think they.
So we're like telling you we're supposed to have Tommy DiCarlo because our business manager told us we have Tommy DiCarlo.
He's probably getting beauty sleep.
So like, but Tommy DiCarlo is missing right now, and so is Steve Kellogg.
Yeah.
They ran away together.
And here we are. We
It's
have
all
to go on the
making
air
sense.
because we're pros. You know, this is what we do.
I don't know.
And
Pros
we're-
is pushing it, but
we walk in without a guest, and we walk in with no contact from our business
and
manager.
you walk in with LOCPOD swag.
That's right, because I'm the locomotive.
The other side to this is you guys know how I feel about remote guests to begin with.
Yes,
I'd prefer them
it
in
stresses
studio.
John out.
So there is no.
We're gonna have to get over this fear you have.
It's not
You
a
guys are all
fear.
stressed out. The vibe
It's
is weird.
preparing.
But what I'm saying is, we're gonna have guests from all over the country, right?
All they
And
have to
for
do is
sure.
follow the rules.
We
All
can't
they
expect them to
have
come to
to
Munster,
do-
Indiana, to be on LOCPOD.
If
We're
we
gonna
are
have
a
to build.
multi-million, like if we're a multi-million-dollar podcast, I think we could arrange them to be flown in.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I think we
that's-
could. Okay.
let-
Dude, my
That's a
tax
pipe
bill. I haven't
dream.
even paid my tax bill
Listen,
from last
hold
year
on.
for
That's a-
LOCPOD.
that's a pipe dream.
We start flying guests in. I'm gonna way more
What
than
a-
$500.
What I'm saying is, if we just prepare a little bit before they come on, test it.
Follow the
but
rules.
now we're forced to possibly do this live, so I don't know what's going to happen.
John's
Okay.
anxiety
making
is
it.
way up, man. He's like,
So
my
anyway.
blood pressure's through the roof.
So everybody, the good news is we have Tommy DiCarlo. We're just gonna say that confidently right now.
We have him in contact, maybe.
All right.
No,
at the
not
very-
in contact, but we've made a verbal date, and we're
Yeah.
hoping that it gets followed through on.
We'll
know?
find out.
If we're sitting in a restaurant on Valentine's Day by ourselves, we got stood up.
All right.
And then we're gonna move on confidently if that's what happens.
That's all we can do.
We got some stuff to talk about. So anyway, I
hey,
want to
by
say,
the- go ahead.
Eva,
Oh yeah.
my assistant, my right arm at work, my work wife, is in labor right now.
Well, and has been in labor since yesterday afternoon.
She was
Poor
ready to go
girl.
Monday. Like
She was not. She was ready. You're right. She was
Wow.
not
Get
feeling
this
good.
parasite out of my body.
it's a big baby.
Yeah, and she texted me from the hospital, and she was like 5 centimeters at like 6 p.m.
Yo, don't be talking about her privates on the air.
I-
that's
Steve,
crazy.
I know that's
Kevin.
just wait. That's not.
What the
that's,
f-
there's nothing
Hey,
wrong with
say
that.
5
medical
centimeters.
There's nothing
terminology.
wrong
You
with
don't say
that.
5 centimeters on LOCPOD.
There's nothing
like, I
wrong
don't even
with
want to
that.
picture that.
That's a really good
There's just-
way to
there's-
gauge how
there's
well
nothing-
the labor
exactly.
is going.
This-
It's
Could we call her
medical.
up, Eva? How much further
Oh my
dilated
God,
are
we
you?
should Skype her from the
All right. If we don't have Tommy DiCarlo,
No,
we'll
you're
have
going to leave
Eva.
that woman alone.
We're going
she is
to Eva.
miserable.
Eva in.
she'll be like, screw you.
Yeah. She's got to be so miserable and exhausted and wants to get that baby done. So
Don't ever say her dilation number on the air again.
5
please.
centimeters.
Oh,
Yesterday at
Stop.
6 p.m.
I think that's the title of the show at this point.
Oh, God.
I mean, she was
birthday,
ready to get the epidural.
Tiny Eva.
oh man.
Yes, we're going to
We're
look
going
forward
to
to
name
that
our
baby.
podcast episode
Amaya?
after
Amaya?
you.
I don't know.
So anyway, I'm sick and freaking tired of Wordle already.
Why?
I've been doing this for 1 week and I hate that game already.
Get over it.
Because I started a text chain, Lindsay, with Marissa, a word geek, right? With Jana,
Okay.
Also
a word geek. With Kevin, a word geek.
I'm thinking now, you guys have very smart wives.
And me. Like, I'm clearly the dumbest one on the chain, okay? And it's proven every freaking day, right? When we do Wordle, they're like, I got it in 2. I got it in 3. And then I got it in 6.
Or
Or
not
today.
at all.
I didn't get it.
at all.
Like, I didn't get it at all.
Tom didn't
For-
get it today.
Dude,
I
it was
didn't get
hard.
today's
It was
either.
hard. Those U's throw me off,
Don't
man.
give it away. I haven't done it yet.
So, I already gave you the...
Don't give it away.
Oh no!
Give it
Dude,
away.
I
There's
already
a you
gave
in
it
there.
away. You can't play today now. You're
All
out.
right, I can't play today.
Because you got to play first thing in the morning. Because then
No,
you're
I
probably
mean,
getting hints from
I can't
people.
always. I can't. No, I don't. I purposely don't. But yesterday was a little bit of an amazing Wordle text chain.
Yeah. Jana, Kevin's wife, gets it in freaking 1.
That
Nice.
And I'm like,
No way.
freaking screw this. I'm done with this game. I'm done with this group. I'm getting a new thread with other people that don't get it in 2 and 1.
total luck.
Right?
I mean, how did
I'm
she-
in the wrong chain. I'm convinced I'm in the wrong text chain. John,
You need like
John,
a-
would you start a Wordle chain with me?
Yeah.
Oh wow, John. Basically, he's saying you're not a word
Thank you.
person.
Shush,
You should be on
Kevin, shush.
ours. John.
But hold on.
Dad's
Are you
confident
saying
he's
John and I
than
are
you.
going to start a Wordle chain together.
you said Jana got this in 1 guess?
total luck.
I do not believe.
Thank
it.
you, John.
And
I
the
couldn't
word- what was
say
the
that.
word,
It's
Tom?
Jana. Jana is Kevin's wife. I can't say that.
I'll
but
say it.
If you say it, I mean, that's just what people are saying. You know?
Yesterday's word was pause.
Pause. Now, how do you guess
You
that?
don't guess that. She
What
saw
kind of
it
bullshit
somewhere
opening
else.
word is pause?
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
Right?
I mean, you don't guess that.
My opening word is great. Xylon with the X.
Why is that? That just you
Or
got to
Z-
start with the word that has the most common letters.
Xerox.
In the alphabet.
Xenon.
Xenon.
That's a noble gas.
I start
Don't do
with
that.
Chase.
Chase. Wow.
That's a good one.
I start
Well,
with Kevin.
I always think of.
Scott. I don't know if they let.
I
I
always
don't,
think
proper
of like
nouns aren't.
names
not allowed.
when I'm trying to think of words, and Chase has got multiple vowels and a couple of common consonants. And
I've
it
got one, too,
usually
that I
leads
start
me
with.
Well.
You STs, stand,
Yeah.
you know, or trust.
I think
Oh,
I've
that's
used
2
pause
Ts.
as a start. I just was like,
My
Oh,
fir-
if
my-
you used it yesterday, you would have got it in 1.
I didn't. I got yesterday in 6.
My usual first word is orate.
Orate.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
O-R-A-T-E.
What does that even mean?
A lot of
Orate,
vowels.
like
It means to speak.
he wants to. He wants
A lot
to
of
knock
vowels
off the
with a
vowels.
T and an
Like
R.
dictate.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Or 8.
All right.
Nerd. You're such a lawyer.
So yeah, that game is annoying as hell.
Tom needs a more elementary group to be on his
Yeah,
text
like
chain.
3
know,
letter
Dad,
3 letter
don't-
words.
Don't
Wait,
feel
T-
bad. I know
TIC,
Dad would
that's why
kill
I'm-
me at Words with Friends. so
Well,
that
also,
was
you know what
fun
Tom is
for
really
sure.
good at? Any music trivia game. Don't play Tom
Yeah.
McDermott on any music.
Except for
trivia.
that stupid radio station music.
Yeah,
trivia I
that
did.
wasn't fair to you though.
It was
They kinda-
dumb.
Dad doesn't know
Hey.
the today's hits.
We have an
Top
update
100.
on DiCarlo.
Yeah.
Oh,
Steve texted, Steve finally texted,
Oh no.
said he called the manager, and it went to voicemail.
all right.
Oh,
There's our
no.
update.
That's where we're at.
There's
So-
our update.
So everybody, there you go.
How about
We have no show.
Yeah. All right. Lock that out.
I heard we had mailbag though.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't see anything from Mailbag.
Oh yeah.
This is courtesy of Lindsay. I think.
Mailbag goes through the
It's
locomotive.
courtesy
I
of my
thought.
husband. I haven't read it yet.
This is probably something Lindsay and Brian cooked up
I got a
I
maritime
didn't
apology
cook up any-
too.
This was his idea.
to Brian.
No. Well, I mean, maybe
You can apologize to Brian after this letter, maybe.
Did he?
Oh.
Did he snow blow the?
my son-in-law
Yeah.
Brian wrote a mailbag.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man.
All right. I'm just
See
gonna
how this
throw
goes
up
to
on
your
the screen.
father-in-law, Brian.
Am I reading this?
Yes, you are.
Can
Oh,
you
I
give
have to
this
read
some
this?
context?
I've not seen it.
Can you
I
give
haven't
us some
seen it either.
context?
I haven't seen it either.
I have no idea what my son-in-law would want to like
I agree.
provoke the bear. You
I
know
agree
what
with
I'm
John.
saying?
Let's provide some
It's
context.
titled Brian's Response to Character Assassination.
Okay,
Oh,
so
this
wait a
is
minute.
not going to go well.
So let's remember. Let's rewind a little bit. Why would Brian potentially be upset with LOCPOD?
I have no idea. I think I'm
What
the
do we-
best. I'm
well-
the best father-in-law any young man could hope for.
His car's in the garage. Lindsay was on the street.
Yeah, who
I
does that?
In
was
the
late
ice- in
because
the ice
my
storm.
car wouldn't close.
And
my
Lindsay
door
was like,
wasn't
when I'm like,
closed.
well, why didn't you park in the garage? You have a garage. Oh, well, Brian parks in the garage. And I'm like, what kind of bullshit is that? You're the wife. The husband parks in the outside, right?
Usually.
Where do you park, Kev?
In the garage.
You park in the, oh, you have a 2-car garage.
Yeah.
I park outside.
Must be nice, Kevin.
I park outside.
It
I know you do.
must be
At your
nice.
house, you do.
Yeah.
Well, and the
that's
other
what-
thing was,
I just
you
strongly
almost
believe that's the role of the man is to
if you
scrape
have a
the
one-car
windows.
garage, the wife's car should go in the garage.
Agree, right?
Why?
I just think
Because it's America.
courtesy.
For sure.
America. It's
Why not, Lindsay?
America.
And John, you're
It's
the same way, right?
America. It's
right,
in
John?
the law.
Amy's car's in the garage.
Even
yours
though
on the
my
street.
car is nicer, I let Amy park in the garage.
And the other
you
thing
gave
was,
me a crappy car?
No, she has a nice car too. Don't get me
Okay.
wrong.
the other thing was that your dad, Lindsay, almost killed himself on the ice at your snow and ice at your house.
That was
even
awesome.
though
That
he'd
just sounds
even
like
though
he's
he
got
had given
crappy
you
shoes.
a snowblower
I gave them
that
a
had not
snowblower.
been used.
Brian
Yeah,
addresses
right?
this in
It
the
was broken.
email.
All right, well, let's read this mailbag.
All right.
You
Oh,
sold
you
us
brought it
lemon.
up?
John,
Okay.
mailbag, please.
Mailbag.
Dear mailbag. What kind of bullshit opening is that?
Whoa.
Like,
Okay,
right
that's
off the
my
bat.
It's not even
husband.
the lock
Right,
pod.
like just, it's all right, whatever.
And it's
All right.
not grammatically. There's no comma after mailbag.
Good
Okay,
or
he
colon.
is not an English major. He went to art
Good
school.
morning. I am writing in response to the opening segment / character assassination from last Friday's show. Oh, wow. It was disheartening to hear so many inaccuracies on a show that is usually well researched.
That's a lie.
Thank you. And I felt this defaming of my character merited a response. Is this like a notice to sue or something?
He works with lawyers, so
Multiple times leading up to the first snowfall, I made the offer to Lindsay, open quotation, your daughter, to park in the garage. She refused. I also offered to go out to move her things so that there would be room for us both to park in the garage. Again, she
I
refused.
didn't refuse. I was being
Oh.
nice. I don't want her to do any,
now
I
trouble
don't
in
want her to do any
paradise?
extra work.
Trouble.
It's unnecessary. It's fine.
It was never an agreement we came to when we moved in. It was her flat out disgust at the idea of parking in the garage. She hates it and can't be persuaded. I don't understand it, but it's ours.
But ours.
But ours is a house of support and respecting
Respecting.
choices.
He
No matter
respects
how
me.
much logic these choices defy, apparently. So I shoveled her out of her spot, scraped her windows, and brushed off the snow with quiet acceptance and no complaints.
See?
He's
This is
a
a long-
lovely husband.
Yeah, this is a super long mailbag, Brian.
Hey.
Come
By
on.
the way, she was able to open her door, but chose not to. I've never
but
seen.
not close
but
it.
not
I
close
didn't
it.
choose
Dude, you
to
guys have a
close my
mailbag
door.
across the room. I'm sorry, I'm doing like an eye test on the air here.
You're failing.
I've never seen ICE do that to a car door before, but sure, I can shoulder the blame on this
All right,
one.
fair enough. We were right. I think that's
Hey.
what I take away from that.
Okay.
We were right.
I would just demand.
Well, and Lindsay's stubborn. Those are the two things I've taken away
doubt
from this
about it.
first
I
couple
am
paragraphs.
my father's daughter.
In regards to the snowblower, this is what I gave them a snowblower.
He
was
sold
nice
us
of
a
you.
lemon.
It wasn't a lemon. It
You
wasn't
sold
sold. It worked fine when I gave it to you, and it was not sold.
It was free.
It was free.
All right, a gift.
It was like a
gift
older.
of the
It
heart.
wasn't the best snowblower in the world. It was like a plastic one, so it wasn't effective. It wasn't like the slicing blade one. Mm-hmm. You know, and I don't have a
Isn't
snowblower.
that called a shovel?
By the
One
way,
stage.
you know what snowblower
Single
Marissa
stage.
and I have? It's called Tom McDermott and Marissa McDermott and Patrick McDermott. We shovel our asses out.
That is a
Mostly
snowblower.
Patrick.
That is our snowblower. Okay,
Mostly,
so anyway,
mostly Tom telling Patrick where to shovel.
no, mostly Tom doing it himself. Marissa
Making
and I.
snowblower noises.
In regards to the snowblower, the locomotive is correct. Just that's the name of the title right there of the show. Okay. It worked when he brought it over. Thank you, Brian. A few months later, when I turned it on as a precaution just to make sure it still functioned, don't want it to fail when I need it, it worked.
Good idea.
For some reason now that there's snow that needs blowing, it won't work. Although Tom may enjoy a good joke, I don't think a 7-month setup for a punchline he won't see is really his style.
That is brilliant, though.
But I could be wrong. So chalking it up to bad timing, I shoveled the driveway and sidewalks again with quiet acceptance. Quiet acceptance is a good title for
Yes.
the show.
You know, Brian is a quiet man.
That's
but
true.
when he talks,
Yeah,
he
man.
makes good points.
Now that you've heard my side of the story and have all the facts, if you wish to read this as a part of the Tom's opening apology segment, that would be acceptable. Best regards, Brian.
Good work, Brian.
/ your son-in-law.
Best regards.
I think I'm gonna. You know what? I'm changing it. I think it's Lindsay's fault.
what? Why
Lindsay
is, it
is
my
stubborn as hell.
fault?
Believe me, she is stubborn as hell.
I'm with Brian on this.
She
one.
got. I don't know where she got this stubbornness from. Huh. I might be with Brian.
I
He
think
might have persuaded me.
I think you just turned it
So
over
basically, if I
I'm
believe
a
my
victim in
son-in-law,
this situation.
she is so stubborn. She is like, nope, I'm parking out in the snow and the ice. And
I've parked outside since November of 2019.
well, okay. Well, you were
We
late.
tried
You were
to
late
both
that
fit
day.
into the garage, and it just won't work because the garage door is itty bitty.
All
Thank you.
right.
Thank you, Brian. For
I don't
that,
want him to hit my car.
Hey,
the mailbag.
are we gonna? Because why don't we do? Are we doing 2 parts of ads now that it appears that we may
That's
not
up to
have
John.
our guest?
John.
I'd still like to run the way it is,
Okay.
just in case he pops in
So
this minute.
No
let's
problem.
can we talk about your hair?
Yeah, sure, please.
It's long.
It is
Yeah,
as
no kidding.
long as I've seen it in
Yeah,
2
wow.
years, a year and a half, something like that.
Well,
It's
I
pretty
shaved
long.
it last year. It's
Yeah,
long
but
as
I think
hell.
it's longer than it was when
Oh,
you
it's
shaved
super
it
long.
last year.
It's like I have it like going down my neck. I could feel it. It's super freaking annoyingly long. And I
Oh.
do this every year, this time of year, on purpose because I shave my head for charity. I used to do St. Baldrick's every year, and I love St. Baldrick's. It's a great organization. And then what I would do is I would find a local family, and then I would say, hey, I want to raise money in the name of this family. Donate to this link right here at St. Baldrick's. And St. Baldrick's would give a little part of what they raise to the family, and St. Baldrick's would get the rest, and I would end up with a head shave. And St. Baldrick's is a great organization. I'm not saying they're not. Okay. However, if I'm going to choose a local family, a few years ago, I was like, why don't I just raise money for the local family? And no offense to St. Baldrick's, I can make a donation to them myself, but the money that I raise will go right to that local family that badly needs it. So last year we sponsored a young girl named Ariana. She was suffering from a form of cancer. We raised over $15,000 for her last year.
Wow.
I think it was even closer to 20, being honest with you. And great news, by the way. Of course, I got my head shaved by Ariana last year.
Ariana update?
She rang the bell a couple weeks ago.
No way.
She's
Yeah.
in remission.
Yeah, she
Oh
rang
my
the bell
God,
a
that's
couple weeks
awesome.
ago, which is amazing. She's just a lovely young girl. Her dad is a East Chicago firefighter. They live in the city of Hammond. She's a real sweetheart. I'm Facebook friends with her, and I keep up with her through that. And I would like to think that the money we raised for her last year helped her family tremendously deal with,
It probably does.
because like they have unnecessary hotel stays. You know, they're on the road a lot. So like the money that I raise helps them cope with the extra expenses of fighting a deadly disease like cancer.
So
right?
what's this year?
This year is a young boy named Max. He's 2 years old. He has, is it LCH? Could you look real quick on there? What is it?
LCH.
LCH.
right.
It's a rare disease that affects only 1 of every 200,000 kids.
Wow.
He's a Hammond.
Wow.
He's a Hammond kid. This family has suffered traumatic loss prior to this, and I'm not going to get into what happened. It's just a real tragic story that this family's already dealt with. And then they give birth to Max 2 years ago, and he's a lovely little boy, smiles a lot, plays a lot, happy. And then, unfortunately, for this family, last fall, they found out that Max has this rare disease called LCH that gives you basically tumors will just pop up on your body, cancerous tumors, and it could attach it. Like he had one on his face, for instance, and they removed it. And, you know, that's not as threatening when it's on your face, although it was affecting his vision and things like that. They removed the tumor. In fact, you could see him smiling like the cutest little boy in the world. He has a bandage on his face. That's where the tumor was. However, the scary thing about this disease is it could attach to your liver. It could attach to your organs.
Wow.
And it's a cancer. It'll kill you. If it attaches to your, you know, any of your vital organs, you die.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I can't imagine the stress of the parents. It's
the
gotta be
parents are
something,
completely
yeah.
stressed.
Yep.
Both of them happen to work for the city of Hammond. One of them works in the Hammond Sanitary District. The other works for the Hammond Department of Public Works. They're great employees. They're great people. They've been through tragedy before. I do not want to get into it, but this family suffered a lot prior to this, and now Max comes around, and now Max is facing this disease, and this little boy is 2 years old, happy, ray of sunshine, rambunctious. He doesn't even realize he's sick. He just thinks this is normal par for the course. When you're born, you got to get these radiation treatments. You got to get this chemotherapy. And this poor little boy is a trooper, and the family is dealing with not only trying to maintain their jobs, they're also trying to maintain Max's health. And we're asking you to donate to a GoFundMe that I've created to help Max. I'm trying to raise $10,000 at least.
So for those of you that are just listening, if you go to GoFundMe.com and type in Max Moore, MOOR, and Mayor Tom, I think it'll come up. Otherwise, the link has been put in by Lindsay to our chat. So please donate.
Is it in there, babe?
It is. Yep. It's in there.
I
Oh,
put- I
sorry.
dr- I
You meant,
dropped
when
it.
you said babe,
That's
you meant
John's
Lindsay.
job.
You can call me babe, Steve.
Oh, sorry.
Kevin.
Aw.
I called you
I was
Steve.
talking to Steve. I was talking to
Whoa.
Steve.
No,
We're all
no.
over the place.
By the way, Max and his family could really use this. Most of the donations we get are like $25 donations. Literally,
Everything, by the way, everything helps. I
it's
mean,
the
don't-
power of numbers is
That's
what we're
right.
talking about.
Absolutely.
A lot of people listen to the show. I have a lot of contact with people through social media, and we're hopefully trying to get everybody that is within the reach of my voice to donate $10, $20, $25, $50, whatever is
Whatever you can.
comfortable. And when you add all of us together, we could raise thousands of dollars with small donations for this family, and this will make a tremendous difference to them.
Yeah, I think in just 24 hours, you're already at 4,400, so let's keep it going.
100% of what we raise is going to this family. And you can see how much we raise. It's right there on GoFundMe. This isn't through a campaign, nothing. This is, in fact, my campaign will make a donation also. But 100% of what you donate is going to go to Max's family, and they're good people. And Max, if we hit $10,000, I've agreed to let Max get the clippers and give me a haircut next week.
Whoa.
That's going to be
All
awesome.
right.
Yeah, I need it. I need it. So I'm hoping you hit $10,000 so that I can get my head shaved, and I'll be the bald U.S. Senate
1 week
candidate.
from 1 week from now, you'll get to see Tom with a shaved head.
I
If we-
imagine
if we
we'll-
hit 10,000.
All right, let's
We'll
go,
live
everybody.
stream that, I would imagine.
If we hit 10,000, if we
So
don't hit
everyone-
10,000, I'm going to Freddie Fades and getting my normal cut. I'm just telling you, man. Like
Yeah.
I don't enjoy the freaking flat bald look. No offense, you know. So like, no offense to the gentleman out there listening. I do this for charity, but we have to hit that number first. So once we hit $10,000, little Max is going to have a funny day. He's going to be able to shave his mayor bald, and I think
All
that's. And by the way, he's pretty rambunctious, so I could end up bleeding after this.
That'll be well worth the price of admission. So
I
make
think
sure to
so.
donate to the GoFundMe page. Just again, if you're listening, just search for Max Moore, MOOR, on GoFundMe, and Mayor Tom, and it'll come up.
Is it MOO? I think it's MORE for some reason.
No,
Could you pull?
MOOR.
Yeah, that's
Oh, it is. I'm sorry.
MOOR.
Yeah,
So
yeah. My bad.
let's do that again. So if you're looking online and you're listening, just search for Max, MAX, Moore, MOOR, and Mayor Tom, and it should come up on GoFundMe. Otherwise, if you're in the chat or watching this on Facebook, you can see it. It's in the chat. And there's a
It's
link.
on my social media also. It's on
Yep.
Facebook. It's on Twitter. It's easy to find. Max Moore, 2 years old, little cute kid with the bandage on his face. You can't miss it. So,
All right.
Mayor Tom, apologies.
Wow.
Damn, man. I'm going to add Brian to the list after reading that letter he wrote. But could I
He's
talk about
fine.
the last show, Kevin?
Oh, sure. You had your wife on. What do you? You're
No,
starting
I'm not apologizing for
Apologize to
that.
her.
Marissa never makes people angry.
Never. That's true.
She
That's
does.
true.
Well, she pisses me off. I'll be honest, but we'll get into
When she
that
corrects
another
my
time,
grammar,
you know?
she was starting to piss
You were
me off,
you were
too.
getting red face for sure. No, Marissa.
It's
and
hard
I-
to talk back to a judge. So I
Yeah,
had to just
you know,
bite
she's
my
the judge
lip.
of the house also. So, but no, I'm not talking about Marissa's segment. She did great.
She was
I think,
awesome.
Right, we had a big audience.
Yeah.
and we talked about the situation facing the Lake County Sheriff Oscar Martinez, fan of the show, friend of the show, family is sponsors of the show. I'm a fan of Oscar Martinez. Okay, I think he's the best sheriff I've seen since I've been mayor, since I've been aware. Okay, we pulled off the trifecta the other day, Kevin. We
did?
pissed off
I
just
didn't know
about
that.
everybody involved in that case. I think just about everybody involved in that case was pissed off after our show.
Oh boy.
And
You were riled up.
well, it is what you have to understand. Okay, this is a situation that's broke down from 4 years ago when Oscar was elected sheriff, and we were a big part of that. Our team, obviously, Commissioner Ripe and his team were a big part of
Yeah,
it. Obviously, Oscar and his team were a big part of it. We were all thrilled. Marissa swore Oscar in. It's one of my favorite pictures. I was standing behind Oscar when he was being sworn in, and his brothers were crying, his parents were crying. Everybody, it was a great moment. Okay, that was the caucus, but still, this is all not even that long ago, 4 years ago. Okay,
Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago.
and here we are today. Even this morning, another lawsuit's filed between these parties. This time, the sheriff is filing a lawsuit against the commissioners. It's in today's paper to compel the commissioners to pay a bill that the sheriff wants to pay, and the commissioners want to, do some more investigation before paying. It's a big bill. In all fairness, it's a real big bill. I want to say $250,000 a year ish, maybe more.
I'm sure.
I want to say it's 20-something thousand a month. It's a big bill. It's for medical services.
Well, yeah, and then at the jail, you can imagine the medical services are significant.
Right. It's a significant population. It's the second largest county in the state. So anyway, we pulled off the trifecta. There's some supporters of the sheriff that said we were too tough on the sheriff and we were speculating. When I say we, I mean me, that I was speculating why the sheriff wouldn't pull over. There's no proof that I mentioned possibly there was alcohol involved, and that was wrong of me because there's no proof of that. Okay, and I want to say that. I was speculating out loud why you wouldn't pull over. And it could be good enough if you're the sheriff, you didn't pull over just because you flashed your lights. The other party, in this case, Crown Point Police, saw that it was a police car and they decided to break off. That could be good enough, okay? And obviously that's what people on the sheriff's side think happened, and that's fine. There's no proof otherwise. Also, there was some allegations that I messed up when I said that afterwards his car was found at a bar. That's not true. It was found at Karma, which is a cigar bar, right? I don't go to Karma, Kevin. Do you?
I've been there a couple times.
Is it a bar? Is it a cigar bar? Is it more of a bar? Is it more of a place?
I don't know what I'd call it. I'd call it just kind of a hangout place. People can smoke in there because like cigar bars are exempted from the no smoking ban in Indiana.
In all fairness, the Martinez family is big with cigars. I do know that.
Yeah.
The brothers, and I imagine the sheriff.
I mean, but they do serve alcohol there. It's both. I mean, it's called a cigar bar.
But like if you're a cigar smoker, I guess you can go there presumably and
hang
not drink,
out,
right?
Sure. I get, yeah.
So
do both.
Anyway, so supporters of the sheriff felt like I was irresponsible when I mentioned these two things, and there's no proof that these two things existed, okay? And I guess I'll take that, all right? Now, on the other side of the issue, there's supporters of the commissioner, okay? In this case, felt that we were completely on the sheriff's side. I pointed out how much I enjoyed him, how much I liked him, how much I respected him, and there are supporters of the commissioner that were like, you guys are completely unfair, covering things from Oscar Martinez's point of view. Fair statement, Kevin?
Yeah, I think there was, I think from my perspective, what I was trying to do was really just play it down the middle and look at it from a lawyer's perspective. I thought somebody made a good point to me that mentioned like, hey, I wonder if some of these defenses will even get in. And those are good. Those are really good. Those are good points. And I appreciate, hearing from people.
What do you mean?
Like, does this defense get in? Does that defense get in? Because some defenses, may get motioned out before the trial. You can't just bring up anything, and the judge has to weigh those things, right? So I think it's going to be an interesting trial. My point when I was discussing it was, actually, I kind of thought I was getting under your skin a little bit because
you were.
I was just trying to.
You were, but it's not the first time on the air.
Yeah,
honestly. You and I get under each other's skin, Kevin.
Sure.
That's part of our relationship.
Absolutely. So I was just trying to indicate what I thought was going on down at the county about grand juries when they happen.
I thought you were fighting with
prosecutors.
me. I thought you were like badgering me a little bit.
And I was just trying to really do it factually. So I mean, if
and
I
then
offended anybody, I apologize.
I think you did offend people.
Kevin's apology.
But I think that you did offend people.
My apology segments are not that much fun, though.
So hold it. So I offended people,
sorry.
And then you definitely offended people. I offended people on both sides of the issue. Actually, on all sides of the issue.
Congratulations.
You offended people more on the sheriff's side of the issue. They thought you were more like coming off as a support.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, I like Oscar a lot, and I wouldn't mean to do that. I mean, I like Commissioner Ripe a lot too. So it was kind of, I was just trying to play it as an attorney and trying to get the facts out there. So.
And then the other party that's definitely pissed, the special prosecutor, Stanley Levko, definitely pissed because we're pointing things out like when I was a public defender, I would take a case like this and it would be done in one court date. I would get a plea bargain and I would plea it down because my client, in this case it would have been the sheriff, has no criminal background at all. This is his first criminal offense, has a clean driving record. This would have been easy money for me back in my public defender days. I would have taken this case and scoffed. Ha! A felony.
Wow,
get the hell out of here.
scoff.
I would be like, there's no way that this case is going to go to trial. There's no way that this person is going to be charged with a felony. This is routine traffic matter in Lake County. Is that a true statement, Kevin?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, right? I think you definitely probably pissed off the special prosecutor because
Kevin can't say yes or no
we don't,
on anything.
What I was going to say is we don't know.
really good
The only thing we don't know,
Technically,
Notwithstanding the foregoing.
like I've read in the paper that there's all these discovery requests out, so maybe you got to deal with those, and those are from the defense. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if the sheriff's asked for a plea at this point. We don't know. I mean, I don't know. So
I wasn't bullshitting that day. I know some things about this case. Okay. All right. John, what
on the flip side to all of this apology, someone in chat, Ida, just
Doesn't
said,
sound like an apology.
well, you guys said what most of us are thinking.
That's what I said, by the
So-
way, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank
Like,
you, Ida.
If I brought up alcohol, and I did, okay? If I said, why wouldn't you pull over if you're the sheriff? And I said, well, maybe he had a couple drinks. And I'm just speculating, okay? And I want to make that clear. I don't know. Like, sheriff flipped his lights, Crown Point Police flipped their lights, and they said, okay, it's a cop. Never mind. That's what apparently happened. That's what is being alleged to have happened. I brought up alcohol. I was wrong to bring it up. However, I'm not the only one that thinks this way, right, John?
Apparently, according to Ida, you're not.
I mean, I think it's natural. I think it's natural to be like, why wouldn't you pull over in a case like that? It's probably a 2-second pullover.
Ida could also be
why,
referencing the plea, right?
Sure.
Usually there's a plea.
Well, and that's why I think these things shouldn't, this is all just like we're doing the court of public opinion. That's why these things are tried. That's why you have a trial. And that's why jurors are, impaneled and they have to only base their decision on the evidence, right? This is just Kevin and Tom talking on a podcast.
But like what we're saying on this
Kevin
podcast,
and Tom talking on a podcast.
but what we're saying on this podcast is what people out there are talking about. Like, let's be honest. You think that people out there aren't talking about this?
And they're probably wondering, like, well, what happened? How did that happen? Where was he? Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Well,
people are thinking about it. But
Like supporters of Commissioner Repay, for instance. They're like, why wouldn't you pull over, Sheriff? Right?
Yeah.
And then there's people
or
on...
why do you get treated any different?
Right. And then there's people on Sheriff Martinez's side that are like, this is a witch hunt. This is all about politics, right? The people are talking about this. I hate to break it to you all.
And that's why we have trials where you just base your
Or
decision
that's why
based
you
on
don't
an
have
evidence.
freaking trials, Kevin.
Or you
That's
plead it
why-
out. Or
That's
you
why
plead it
this
out.
case is bullshit from the get-go. This case shouldn't be at this position. Stanley Levko should have pled this shit out like any other public defender would. Like any other, this case does not belong where it's going. This is bull crap from the get-go.
I think what Tom and Kevin are trying to say is you guys are the voice of the people.
I think so.
We represent
Tom
the
is definitely the voice of the people.
Listen, man, I'm a friend of Oscar's and I'm a friend of Mike's, okay? And I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. I'll be honest with you. They're acting like two kids, both of them, okay? Like the Sheriff Martinez, by the way, I love the guy, all right? Sheriff Martinez, in the city of Hammond, I have a boss. It's called the Hammond City Council. I don't fucking fight with them over every single goddamn issue. If they feel strong about an issue, it's my job to go along. I have to have 5 of them on my side, right? You have channels that you have to go through. Commissioner Repay, he's the sheriff. The sheriff runs the sheriff's department. That's how
He's
it
the
works.
commissioner, right?
You're a commissioner. He's the sheriff. I wish these two guys would just get their friends together, go into a room like a mediation kind of thing, and just say, chill the hell out, both of you.
I think they're both
This
good.
is BS.
They're both good leaders, and it to me it's just sad to see a friendship kind of go that way because they were really good friends, and I appreciate both of them.
Del Rio in chat just said, I watch this show to hear Kevin smoothly dodge yes or no questions. That is the bulk of your responses,
That's
Kevin.
my challenge with
How many
my
freaking holes
favorite
do I
client,
punch in the
Tom
wall?
McDermott.
Dude, good God. I'm just sick of it, though. I really am. It's sad. It's a breakdown of government. It's a failure of government. Quite frankly, like Lake County government is paralyzed right now. Let's be honest. Take a step back, Kev. We have the county council suing the commissioner, right? We have the sheriff suing the commissioner, right? We have the commissioner that helped get the sheriff indicted by the special prosecutor. This is all happening right now in county government, okay? It's like a hurricane, and everybody's trying to screw each other. And it's sickening to me because I know all these people, and they're all good people, and they're all good policymakers, and they're good government officials. Back the hell off.
Well, it's, litigation definitely slows things down. We know that, right? I mean, when something's in litigation, things grind to a halt. And we all want government to work efficiently, and I think that's what we're hoping for. So let's get back to efficient government.
So anyway, Mayor Tom's apologies. I apologize to Special Prosecutor for pissing you off. I apologize to Commissioner Repay and his supporters for pissing you off. I apologize to Sheriff Martinez and his supporters for pissing you off. I'm just a lowly taxpayer in Lake County watching from the sidelines, just asking you guys to please get your crap together and put this stuff behind us and stop suing each other and freaking stop screwing each other over and try to get back to the business of running the sheriff's department, running the county, because you guys are good. All of you guys are good. Why don't you just do your damn jobs and stop suing each other? Like, we got to stop this. And if you think that I'm a jerk for going on air and talking about it, you think I'm the only one talking about it, you're insane. It's in the freaking paper every single day. It's time to get back to the business of running government and stop trying to screw each other. That's where I'm coming from.
Mayor Tom's apology segment.
That was not a very good apology.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
That was not a very good
I was like,
apology.
That's
No, it bugged me though, Lindsay.
That's how it works.
It bugged me though, hon, because like these people are mad at me.
Well, I know that you guys were talking about this last week because I listened to the episode. You guys
Wow.
have been getting on me, and I've been
Thank you.
listening.
Good
job,
okay? I
Linz.
take some time out of my day to listen to the episode because I'm busy during when you guys film. But like, if I were in that situation and I didn't do anything wrong,
Which is what the sheriff
I
feels.
wouldn't take a plea deal.
Which is what the sheriff feels.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Why would I plead down to something
Okay,
if I
let me
didn't
ask
do
you a
anything
question, though,
wrong?
Benz. Okay, because I've been in this situation that the sheriff's in, where I had a situation where there was allegations that I was acting racist with an employee. This is years ago. Okay, and it was ugly, meaning ugly allegation. And you know me, babe. I'm a fighter.
Oh,
right?
Stubborn.
No.
And, by the way, Lindsay, you've known me my whole life, and I've known you your whole life. Have you ever seen me act racist at all? Have you ever seen me like say a racist thing in your life, honey?
No.
I'm not that way.
No.
Never have been, never will be. I don't worry about it because I'm not, right?
It doesn't. You live here. Like why would you live here and be it makes no sense.
It makes no
There's too many diverse. It's too diverse. Like it
So,
would make no sense.
Nonetheless, I get accused in this lawsuit of being a racist, straight up, and firing somebody because of race reasons, right?
Okay.
But in this case, multiple people were being sued along with me. Like it was a huge conspiracy
So
in
it
my
wasn't
government.
just targeting you. It was just
Me
a
and
general
Kevin,
blanket.
10, 12 other people, Kev.
Yeah, there's a lot in that.
Like a
lawsuit.
conspiracy of race, basically, right?
Okay.
And it was expensive because we had to defend like everybody in that case that was sued, right?
I think I remember this one. Yeah.
So we decided there was a reasonable offer made, and we decided to settle the case because taking that reasonable offer, even though I had I felt strongly if we'd gone to trial, I'd have been vindicated. But you have to look at the math and say, it makes more sense to settle because I'm spending $50,000 a month trying to defend a case that's probably only worth $50,000.
So it comes
Yeah,
down
we
to
can't,
money. Then.
and we can't really get into too much of the facts because it's a confidential settlement. So I'm glad we didn't talk
didn't.
about the names or anything. I agree.
I agree, but like Lindsay just said it, it's like math at this point. You're
Well,
like,
yeah, it's just
it
money
makes
that goes
mathematical
into it.
sense to
And that's
settle.
always a consideration in litigation, right? I mean, you always have to consider if the risk of going forward to trial is worth the continued, increase of attorney fees or, exposure. And sometimes that wins the day.
But so
you
like,
have to-
so in this case, if you're the sheriff and you strongly feel, going back to what Lindsay said, that there's no way I did anything wrong, I flashed my lights, they flashed their lights, end
That's
of
like
story.
typical cop behavior. I've seen it happen.
I've seen it happen also.
I've seen cops
Right.
getting pulled over and they
Flash their lights.
and then they go about their business.
So what I'm saying is, so if Oscar feels strongly, but Oscar also has to weigh the fear that something goes wrong at trial.
Sure.
And he's found guilty and what it does to his career. So you have
it's
to
like
sort
a
of
gamble.
balance.
Yeah,
It's like the scales of justice. You have to
Yeah,
balance.
do you want to spend the money and be vindicated and have the ability
Possibly
to say
be vindicated.
I am
Or not be
completely
vindicated. Or not-
you're right, or not be
innocent,
vindicated,
or
right,
have the
yeah.
risk of that running, or settle to a lesser charge. I don't know.
Right.
I feel like because it's an election year and he wants the absolute certainty that he is innocent, and I
I'm
think
a-
he's
I would
confident
pick-
enough to go ahead with that, and he thinks that
Set for April. Set for something.
It's a
in
big
April.
time gamble, man.
I liked. There was somebody in chat that said, "I thought this was great. I think everyone should accept your apology by making a donation to the GoFundMe."
That's a good
Nice.
idea.
It's a great idea.
Thank you, Josh.
So we were at $4,300
Yeah,
when I
where are we
started
at
the
now?
show.
Let me
Let's
refresh
see.
this. Whoa.
What? 44.40.
All right, we're going. We're going
$140 higher. Like,
up. Keep going, everyone.
I need to get that to 10,000, everybody. So if you can donate a couple bucks to Max Moore, I'd
Dad
appreciate you.
needs a haircut.
Yeah, I need this to get to 10,000. So anyway, we did a half-assed apology segment. We did a mailbag. We did
Sorry
a lot of stuff.
that your feelings got hurt. Apology segment.
Yeah, I am. So where we going next?
I
Kevin
want to
Chandler?
talk a little bit about this. Our favorite state official, Todd Rokita.
Sure.
Rokita.
Rokita. Isn't he a friend of Trump?
According to Trump, he's a great man.
Oh, yeah.
And he's done. Done a great job. What did he say, John? He did a great job. He's doing a great job in Indiana.
Right.
So recently, this week, Dan Carden of the Northwest Indiana Times reported that the ACLU has filed suit against Rokita.
Rokita is Indiana's Attorney General.
He is, and he is a
Trump psychopath.
Yeah, he's a Trump supporter for sure. And there is a gentleman by the name of Abdul Hakim Shabazz, who you know.
Yeah. He started off more like online, like Howie Political Report kind of guy, but he's more Indianapolis centric. He's Republican, African-American Republican lawyer who's a personality in Indianapolis. He's super smart. He's edgy. He's like LOCPOD of Indian. He was doing this 10 years before LOCPOD came around. So he was, and now I think he's straight up on the radio, but
He's a right of center.
he is definitely right of center.
Yeah, and so what happened
Rock
was
pod, he calls
Rock pod.
he wanted to go to the Attorney General's press conferences, and the Attorney General staff prohibited him from doing that because they consider him a, quote, gossip columnist instead of an, quote, actual journalist, according to the lawsuit. So, and actually the Attorney General's office said they might counterclaim against Shabazz and the ACLU.
Wow.
That's a good
lawsuit,
use of our
so,
taxpayer money
yes.
there from the Attorney
And
General.
in the meantime, they're not letting him in the press conference.
Honestly, though, I can tell you what I know about Shabazz. Hakim, it's Abdul Hakim Shabazz.
Yes.
He's a great guy. He's an attorney, probably about my age.
You've been on with him before, I think, haven't you? And
He's
I
a
was
great
going to
seen
say
you-
his name sounds very
And
familiar.
you've
He's
been
a
on
radio
panels with him, I think.
Yeah,
and I've
he's
seen
a
you-
radio host. He's a personality that's on panels all the time in Indy. He is often on Sunday morning talk shows in Indy. He is always right of center. And
LOCPOD.
and like he's super smart, super funny. He's a big cigar smoker. I like him a lot, and I think he likes me as well. I mean, as much as you could like somebody if you're a media personality. But for the Attorney General to say that Shabazz is not media is absolutely ludicrous, insane. This is all petty politics, you know.
Well, I think this is pretty funny because it back in 2018 when Rokita was actually running for Senate, which in that case Mike Braun won that. It says that this isn't the first time Rokita's clashed with Shabazz. In 2018, Rokita briefly withdrew from a Republican U.S. Senate debate after the nonpartisan Indiana Debate Commission selected Shabazz as moderator.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
He gets selected
He
as a
was
moderator of a U.S. Senate debate.
The then congressman claimed Shabazz was insufficiently conservative to moderate a Republican debate.
Because he's not. Yeah.
Wow.
Because he approaches it in a smart way and he
Rhino.
weighs both
Shabazz
sides. Yeah, whatever.
Shabazz is like, he's not, like, he likes me and I'm a Democrat. Like, if you're a guy like Todd Rokita, you automatically should hate a person like me because the party next to my name is a D, right? And Shabazz is an open-minded, smart guy, an attorney, and he just, you know, like he's nobody's token. You know,
and Rokita lost that primary to Mike Braun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Shabazz, I want to get Shabazz as a guest on our show.
He'd be great.
That would be
I'd love to
awesome.
talk about the lawsuit if he could.
Yeah, maybe you can come
Steve,
on.
are you listening?
Maybe you can come on for Tommy DeCarlo.
Steve, can you get Shabazz in 5 minutes?
Yeah, right. Shabazz is awesome. We're going to have to line him up for a future show, but Shabazz clashing with Rokita makes, you know, Shabazz a friend of our show, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I
If
mean,
you're
I think-
fighting with Todd Rokita, you're a friend of LOCPOD in my book. So
let's see.
Abdul Hakim Shabazz, we're going to get you as a guest very soon. And I'm trying to remember, Under the Dome, I want to say is the name of his, Under the Dome, the Capitol Dome. Could you look that up real quick, somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So if you want to like see a picture of what Shabazz does, he has a whole website that, you know, is concerned with Indiana politics.
Hey, John, could you also pull up that McConnell clip?
Yep, Under the Dome.
Under the Dome. So if you're interested in following up on Abdul Hakim Shabazz, he's great. I think you really like him. So Under the Dome.
So last week, I guess Tuesday, we talked a little bit about Mike Pence kind of breaking with President Trump, and just kind of out of curiosity, I was curious this week. I saw McConnell, and just give you context. This was in response to a reporter's question, so it wasn't like McConnell going on TV and just giving this statement. But I thought it was interesting because it almost seems like McConnell is echoing what Pence said and not really supporting former President Trump.
I agree. It's obvious these two have a split.
Well, didn't Trump
my view of what
Here it
happened
is.
make fun
January
of
the 6th.
McConnell like a couple days ago?
We're here. We're here. We saw what happened. It was a violent insurrection for the purpose of trying to prevent the peaceful transfer of power after a legitimately certified election.
Whoa.
He does look like a turtle or something, doesn't he?
I was just about to say that.
It's so crazy. He is very turtle-like.
And I think
His face doesn't move at all when he talks. It's like lips barely move.
this was after Trump had called him Old Crow again. He likes to call McConnell Old Crow McConnell. And then he also ripped into McConnell's wife, Secretary Chow, over her resigning after January 6th. And maybe this was McConnell's way of saying, like, hey, you know. So it's interesting, though. I mean, John, what do you make of this, where Pence and McConnell have both kind of broke with McCarthy and Trump over the election?
I think it's a test. I think it's like which side is the Republican Party going to go with? Trump or McConnell, Pence, and their view of things?
Romney and those guys,
Romney,
Murkowski.
yeah,
and
Romney.
Yeah.
My dad, I tell you, like, the highest profile Republican I really talk to frequently is my father. And my father would definitely break with McConnell and Pence going that way because he's
Break with them or
disgusted.
go that way?
Go that way. No. He would go with them because the Republican Party is a cult of personality now. It's all about Donald
Part of
Trump.
it is.
And if you don't believe the big lie, if you don't believe Donald Trump won the election and it was stolen from him, if you don't believe, Donald Trump is the savior of our country, then you're not a real Republican anymore. Look at Liz Cheney. Her dad was the damn vice president of the United States. And she's not a real Republican.
It's like the Bush Cheney and and then by the way, in Kinzinger too. I mean, he's given some really interesting statements. I mean, military.
Well, now he's
veteran.
also quitting politics too.
Well, yeah, it was a redistricting issue. He said.
Yeah,
but,
that's what happens when people don't like you is they redistrict you, right?
And I think it's interesting, right, that you've got kind of this part of the party that's kind of saying, "Hey, are you with us or not?" Because I mean, I think there are those that are saying that folks like McCarthy are failed leadership. And if you listen to what Kinzinger said, I think it's interesting because he's like, look, you got to stand up when stuff like this happens for the country.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like McConnell and Pence are doing that. John, there was speaking of interesting leadership, Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of, I guess, the left's favorite punching bags, and she's out there. We found a really funny tweet that went up about her. So let's listen to this.
Have the DC jail, which is the DC gulag, but now we have Nancy Pelosi's gazpacho police spying on members of Congress, spying on the legislative work that we do, spying on our staff, and spying on American citizens that.
Suddenly, I'm very hungry.
Yeah, I love soup.
I love gazpacho.
The tweet reads, just to clear things up, Marjorie Taylor Greene, gazpacho, a vegetable-based Spanish cold soup. Gestapo, Nazi Germany's secret police. She's something.
She was probably hungry.
Nah, maybe she was thinking about lunch.
Who doesn't
have a good gazpacho in DC?
Who doesn't want a good gazpacho? Well, in the dead of winter, you don't eat. You don't drink. Eat. Just is it
Cold
eat gazpacho?
soup.
I think you eat gazpacho, right? With a
I guess
spoon.
so.
You don't drink it. I don't think you do it with a straw.
Right.
Let's do our ads.
Don't listen
do
to
ads.
Taylor Greene.
So,
don't listen to the noise.
So
Keep it
doing
up.
what you do.
Keep saying gazpacho.
So when we come back from ads, the big reveal is: will it be Tommy DiCarlo, or will we be on our own trying to figure out what the hell to talk to you about?
Listen up.
So listen up. It should be
sneaking
interesting.
suspicion.
Let's go ahead and start with the premier sponsor of Season 5. Season 5 is powered by our premier sponsor, Powering America. That's right.
Pow.
With the explosive
Wow,
growth of renewable energy in America today, trust the electrical professionals of
Power in America.
Pow.
to meet your needs for renewable energy in your home or office, including electric vehicle charges and solar power solutions. Trust the electrical professionals of
Power in America.
Pow.
That's right. Powering America. Visit poweringnorthwestindiana.org. That's poweringnorthwestindiana.org.
Can I do an ad?
Please.
People are calling for us to talk about Rogan. They said they've been teased long enough.
Wow.
They want to hear about Rogan. They want our thoughts
Next episode on Tuesday.
Rogan.
No, we'll do it if
Let's
Tommy
just keep
DiCarlo's not
dragging
here.
it out.
We'll do Rogan next.
Yeah, he's not here.
Okay. Well, Kev.
I thought Lindsay was reading.
No, you do the next one. Lindsay. You'll do it, sir.
Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and within budget. Misprint's experience and technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, and on-demand printing and sign solutions you can count on. Rick Balzenberger and his team have served Chicagoland in Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. Misprint has 2 convenient locations in Munster and in Hammond. Thank you, Rick.
Executive Suite Squared, commonly known as ES2, is a first-class executive office environment located on 8094 at Kennedy Avenue. ES2 offers flexible membership plans that provide the privacy of dedicated, fully furnished offices with 24/7 secured access. So no matter how big or small your business may be, they can accommodate the way you work. For more information on their basic or private office membership packages, or to rent one of their state-of-the-art conference rooms, call them at 219-844-2901 or visit them at executivesuites2.com.
Let's get the new year started with a Michelob Ultra. Ultra has only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, so it's sure to keep your resolutions in check while continuing to be one of the fastest growing brands nationally and in the region. Take your resolutions to the next level and try an organic light lager. With only 2.5 carbs and 85 calories, Ultra Pure Gold is brewed for your healthy lifestyle. Check out calbrew.com or CalBrew's Facebook page for brand info and giveaways. Cheers with beers.
You skipped one. I'll do it. Challenger Learning Center.
Oh, they're sold out.
We still have to read it.
Did we ever get a new ad
I
from
wanted
them?
you to read it in your sexy voice because it's almost Valentine's Day.
Aw,
You're like-
Kevin, you want to hear your sexy voice?
See how it goes.
This Valentine's Day, embark on a date
is
like
weird.
night.
Lindsay just left.
This Valentine's Day, embark on a date like no other, to create a love connection for a lonely Mars rover. That's right. Join Challenger Learning Center on Saturday, February 12th from 5 to 8 p.m. for a brand new Red Planet Romance event with dinner and drinks presented by Byway Brewery. Register today at clcnwi.com.
Very nice.
Yikes.
That was nice, right?
The kiss
That was
at the end is always a nice addition.
you know.
Grisolia's Concrete was voted #1 in the Times Best of the Region 20 and 21, and you can vote for them right now in 2022. Grisolia's Concrete specializes in all of your concrete projects, and they've been using the original cement finish in the
California style.
since 1972, and also offers stamped and colored concrete. Call now. Call Bernie at 219-659-4127 to get your project lined up for the spring.
Am I doing this next one?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Byway Brewing is a friend.
Nope. Tortillas Nuevo Leon.
Oh,
would be
I'm
the
actually
next one.
singing it. I have Byway Brewery.
This is a
No,
disaster.
I know.
Right there.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon.
Tortillas Nuevo
Hechas
Leon is the
con
gold
amor.
standard of Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Oh,
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia, de todo corazón.
that was great. That was the notorious LMP.
That's my favorite song of all time.
All right. Who's
That's
next?
awesome. Tri Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Tri Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years. They're dedicated to assisting their clients with their systems integration needs. Tri Electronics has the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Tri Electronics today at 800-722-6793. Thank you to all of our sponsors, including
Powering America?
Pow.
Oh, thanks. Powering America. Don't we have one more?
yes.
Yeah. Byway Brewery.
Thanks.
Oh, Lindsay.
What is
Byway
happening?
Brewing is a
know.
family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and outside patio. Brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event like weddings, reunions, and corporate parties. We are conveniently located just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit, so come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu.
All right. There we go.
All right.
Season 5.
Woo!
Sponsored by Powering America.
Pow.
Thank you.
Thank you to our premier sponsor.
That's right.
Pow.
So we're running with the Joe Rogan segment.
All right, we're going to finish up with this.
I just want to
Let's do it.
preference this by saying that I have always disliked this man, and I've been made fun of it.
I'm with you, Linz.
I
Never been a
went
fan.
through-
I think he
Never
is
been a fan.
insufferable, and he's not that smart.
I went
and
through. I think
he's not
he-
interesting.
First off, I went through.
Ditto, Lindsay.
I went through a thing where I was listening to a show for about a month or so.
I was going to say, it wasn't that long.
No, and I found his shows. First off, I think he's incredibly smart.
Eh.
I think he's really not smart because what he did was real dumb. What we're going to cover, but I think he's actually he knows a lot about a lot of different subjects. He has a 3-hour show and he's pretty educated.
I think he's
Like,
tapped into a segment of the population that wants that kind of free-flowing thing, right? That's what
Where
I
it's
I
like
thought.
no rules,
and I'm
right?
like, 3 hours? Who's got 3 hours?
3.
Who's
But-
got, I mean, like, really?
Well, he does.
He does, obviously. He's making
He's
millions
getting-
of dollars.
he's
If I
making
was
millions
making
of
millions of
dollars.
dollars, I'd have
Right.
more than 3 hours.
Right, but like I think you put a microphone in front of us for a couple hours, we could do shows. But like if I was getting paid
I'm
millions of
exhausted.
dollars, but like I mean, there's no rules on the show, obviously, because we're going to cover some stuff that's pretty brutal. But like he did mushrooms on a show with Post Malone. He did mushrooms like
Smoked weed on a
Smoked
show
weed with
multiple
Elon
times.
Musk.
Smoking weed
Or
on a
did-
show is
I don't
one
wanna-
thing. Yeah, with Elon Musk.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Did Elon smoked? Okay.
But like that's one thing. But if you like, they ate mushrooms at the very beginning of the show, and by the end of the show, it's a 3-hour show.
I'm not
they're
that
they're
impressed
flat.
with that.
But what I'm saying is, there's no rules on this show.
Fair enough.
And I found it brutally boring. After a while, I found the show just really boring, like long-winded. I think the way we do it with a 1 hour is way more, impact. You get
We're
way
better
more.
than Joe Rogan.
I think we are. Because his show, if he packed it into 1 hour, I think it would be a way better show. But his show is 3 hours, and it's brutally boring, in my opinion.
He's
John, do you
too-
like him?
I do.
He's too high school jockey for me. Like, I don't know. His personality just
Annoys you.
John, you
It
listen to
annoys
it
Kind
every
of guy you don't like.
No,
he's
no, I-
100% not my type for sure. That's 100%.
John, you listen to it every day?
No, I don't. No.
Do you listen to it like once a week? Honestly.
No. I've listened to like 20 episodes.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of
Total.
episodes.
Oh, I probably listened to 20 episodes.
Yeah.
I went through
no
a
way,
thing.
There's no way I have.
Yeah.
No way I've listened
Like
to 20.
most of everyone else,
On
I
one
get
hand.
sound bites. I get clips
Fair enough.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he's dumb, John?
No.
I agree. I don't think he's
No.
dumb. I think
Not
he's
dumb.
dumb. I think he is sort of dumb, actually, because what we're going to cover is really stupid.
Yeah, smart people don't do this.
Right. But
Or
like,
say the
I
things
think
that he said before.
what he would say to try to justify the BS behavior we're going to cover today, he'd be like, "Hey, man, I did mushrooms on my show. There's like no rules." And he says, he has an apology for what we're going to go through, but what we're going to go through is sort of tough. Being honest, like the language he uses is sort of tough. So if if you don't like tough conversations, this might not be the segment for you.
And just, I think the interesting thing that led up to this had nothing to do with race originally, right? I mean, it was this fight over Spotify between Neil Young and Spotify. And Neil Young was like, hey, I don't appreciate him putting misinformation out there about the vaccine. So I'm giving you a choice, Spotify. Pull me or pull Joe Rogan.
Right.
And Spotify responded. And then actually Neil Young wrote a letter, and then he pulled it down pretty quickly, kind of saying that. And Spotify, basically citing First Amendment concerns and like, we're not going to, decide the marketplace of ideas, said we're not pulling Joe Rogan down, but we will honor your request, Neil Young, and pulled all his music off.
That's fine.
And they said that it might have been up to 60% of Neil Young's revenue for the year. So.
Neil Young is still on Apple Music, though.
Yes, he is. And he's one of my faves. And I've seen him in concert.
I love Neil Young.
Love Neil Young.
I've never seen him in concert, but
Chicago Theater is
so anyway,
unbelievable.
like you were saying, so it starts off as an anti-vax because if you remember correctly, what the quarterback for
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers went on the Joe Rogan show or got advice from Joe Rogan on how to properly treat COVID and got in a big trouble for it from the NFL.
I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan.
I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan either. And that was, so anyway, Joe Rogan starts off in a fight about anti-vax with Neil Young. And then there's a post from one of his followers that's watched his show over the years and compiled a tweet of Joe Rogan using the N-word.
7 whole minutes
of just continuous
of him using the N-word.
Racist.
That is shocking.
It's brutal.
7 minutes.
We are not playing that.
No.
I want to make it clear.
No,
but it's absolutely indicting and brutal.
How many times do you have to say it for it to fill up 7 minutes?
Or how many times do you have
I think it was 20 times.
Oh my goodness,
around
it's so
20
brutal.
times.
It's so brutal. Like we couldn't play it on the show. That's how brutal it is.
I would.
No, I'm not going to play it on the show. But like,
Thank you.
Like, there's no doubt after listening to that, you're like, come away like, holy crap, Joe Rogan is in deep trouble because you can't say that. You just can't. Full word.
Even if you're like referencing something, you still,
I agree with you.
As a
She
white
says
person,
it
you
was.
don't- Yeah,
Says it was every single one was in context.
I don't really agree with that. In fact, we're going to play some things here that it has nothing to do with the full word, but it's completely racist. Mm-hmm. John, I mean, so like he's going to say, oh, like if I was reading something in a deposition or something, what did he say? And then you read what he said and you say the word, at least you're like reading something somebody else said.
Even then, I think I would say N.
Right.
I don't think I would say it.
Well, I don't say that
Even
word.
when reading a deposition, I just don't. I don't think.
I don't say that word ever. My kids don't say that word.
Nope.
I don't say that word. That
Nope.
word never is uttered. I don't say, and like I hear it in songs. I don't say it when I hear it. I don't think that word is appropriate. It's like there's a couple words in the English language that shouldn't be uttered. One of them begins with the C. Okay. There's a couple words that you don't say. That's one of them in my book. That is one of the taboo words you don't talk about.
Well, I mean, when words are offensive and they offend so many people, I think that's one of the words you try to avoid.
And that word was weaponized for hundreds of years also.
Absolutely.
So
It
now,
has
like, I don't think anybody should say it. And I realize that there's people in the African-American community that say it. And I guess that's appropriate. I don't really consider it appropriate personally.
I'm not going to judge anybody in the African American community using it because that's their community. I mean, and to me, it's just like it shouldn't be used.
I agree.
By white people at all.
I don't think it should be used at all.
I think, like you said it, Mayor, it was weaponized and used as a significant affront and put down and insult for hundreds of years. And
right.
It's just not appropriate.
Yep.
But Joe Rogan felt.
So anyway, why don't we go through this link, for instance? Okay, this is a link where he doesn't say the word, but I think the intent is clear. It was about him going to see the movie The Planet of the Apes. Could you click on that, John?
Was it? I thought he went.
App, and it says, "Okay, take me to this one." And the guy goes, "Okay." I goes, "Is that in a good neighborhood?" He's like, "Oh yeah." Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out and we're giggling. "Oh, we're going to see Planet of the Apes." We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door, and there was no white people.
That is tough, man. That's brutally
offensive.
offensive.
Yeah.
Brutally, like this guy, I don't care what you say. I don't care how long ago this was, and it was a while ago. You could tell that is, you just can't say that stuff. That is racist. That's flat racist.
100%.
Like, it's so bad. Like, how does this guy recover from this? Like, I'm talking, I don't give a crap about the anti-vax stuff. I don't give a crap about the Neil Young fight. You can't say this stuff.
I feel like there's
in
been
America.
a lot of people that have done a lot less and been.
Yeah, like who?
Well, I mean,
Roseanne Barr. Remember?
Sure.
She
Yeah, that
said
was a long time ago.
How about John Gruden this year in the NFL?
Yeah.
He was talking about
some emails, right?
Yeah, he was in emails with a lot of people. He's talking about the official. One of the officials was African American, and he was describing the characteristics of him, and got fired,
Yeah,
rightfully so.
Rightfully so. Yeah.
Right. Chris Harrison, the Bachelor host, right?
Yeah, he was saying something about like
Institutional racism.
Right.
Right. Roseanne Barr used racist language, got canceled recently.
So I know, John. John, we've had this discussion about cancel culture, but where do you think this kind of stuff fits into that?
This may shock you, but I don't think he should be canceled.
That does shock me.
I
think
don't.
it's sad to hear you say that, bud.
John
this is so.
John is definitely an
But like
anti-cancel
John, like,
but what is
that's straight racism. That is straight racist. You're defending a guy.
I'm not defending him. But I'm also going to say I don't think Joe Rogan is racist. That may shock you guys too.
What
I
was
don't
that?
think he's racist. He just had Snoop Dogg on. They were like,
it doesn't matter. He could think, he could have Snoop Dogg on and think Snoop Dogg's, think less of him because he's African American.
Joe Rogan's a comedian, and he may have said some things that he shouldn't have said.
That is what he just said. What he said there is, I don't think you can
I'm not
defend
saying
that.
I'm not.
John
No,
talk.
I agree.
Let John talk.
Actually, I think it's harder to defend Joe Rogan saying that Planet of the Apes joke than
I don't think it was a joke,
video of him saying the N-word in context.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's video of Biden saying the N-word in context.
Yeah, no, it wasn't in context. It was out of context. I heard it this morning. It was Biden was reading something off a piece of paper.
No,
and,
that's what I mean.
Yeah. He was reading something said by somebody else, and they clipped it right as soon as he got done. It was obvious he was reading it. He was quoting somebody else.
But that's what Rogan was saying about his own clips of saying the N-word was.
It
all has to deal with context.
He was talking about someone else saying it.
Well, what in this Planet of the Apes one? That wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. It's harder to explain
I
this.
agree with that.
Than the other thing. But I think if Joe Rogan has come out and said, look, this happened 10 years ago, however many years ago, I shouldn't have joked about it. Do you still cancel him? That's what I'm saying is no. I think the cancel stuff has to stop. If you believe Joe Rogan is not a racist, don't cancel him.
If I was like an executive of Coca-Cola or some other big sponsor that sponsored the Joe Rogan show, I would immediately pull my ad after hearing the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, I think that's
I would
a
immediately
different-
pull my money, and that would be canceling him. I'd be like, screw you, Joe Rogan. My millions of dollars that we support your show with is gone.
You got to do your research before you back people. Like,
Well,
this
Lindsay,
was
you
on
give
the internet years ago.
It's been out there
on the
for a long
internet,
time.
and you're gonna pull it now.
You're
that
gonna,
the
he has
general
3-hour
public
shows.
knows?
He has 3-hour shows. Who has time to go through all that crap?
I'm sure somebody's done it.
I have not heard, and I need to probably do some better research myself. I just haven't looked. What has the African American community reacted to this? Have they? I mean, I've seen a couple tweets, a couple things, but I haven't seen any full on screw Joe Rogan. Maybe it's out there. I just haven't seen.
I haven't really paid that.
I'd be curious.
Can we do the next clip?
I have a feeling that those demographics aren't listening to him in the first place.
Maybe true.
True, but somebody is, and somebody's posting it, and I'm glad they are, because that's how you. I mean, I guarantee you, people listen to our every show and wait for me to make a stupid mistake, and when I do, if I do, they're gonna blast it, and they will. They're gonna pounce on me. So there's somebody listening to the Joe Rogan show every day, not because they love Joe Rogan and what he has to say, with the pure intent on taking him down if he says something inappropriate, and that's what they did.
So this is a tweet that we'll finish up with this.
Do you think it's a coincidence that this clips that's been out here forever has just now come up after he's talking about COVID?
It came up because of the controversy, and everybody was paying attention
It came
because
up
of the Neil
because
Young.
of the long video of him saying the N-word.
Well,
For 7
that
minutes.
came up
that
because
came out after as well.
That came out because of the whole thing with COVID.
But I guess, they probably put him in a spotlight amongst demographics that don't normally pay attention to Joe Rogan. I know there's not a single Joe Rogan thing that pops up on my social media and ads or anything.
Me neither.
He's not even suggested on my Apple Podcasts, nothing. I ignore him for the most part, and because of the COVID thing, and because I have Neil Young on my phone and things like that, it came to my attention. And then suddenly, other people who can't excuse that behavior are suddenly paying attention to him, and these things that he's done. So I think that's what's going on here.
All right, why don't we play the next clip?
All right.
What are you? Yeah.
Dad's black, mom's white. Standard issue, pretty much.
Powerful combination genetic wise, right? You get the body of the black man and then you get the mind of the white man all together in some strange combination. That doesn't, by the way, mean that black people don't have brains. It's a different brain. Don't
No,
Yeah,
see
rough.
that
That's rough, man.
that's rooted in eugenics, where
he
like
trying to
for
be-
a long time people thought that black people's brains function differently, that their heads were shaped. It comes from like the early 1800s of just people thinking that black people are inferior, and they're not. And it's
And
just,
trying to put down a certain, you're
Yeah,
trying
like-
to put down people.
exactly like that
But-
is ancient science that's totally not credible.
I mean, do you think
100%.
John? Do you think he's trying to be funny? I mean, I don't even.
I don't
I
even
don't
think
know,
it's
but
funny.
I'm looking at this clip. He's clearly high out of his mind. I mean, look, it's blurry, but his eyes are
John,
so glazed
squinty.
over.
John, when you go to China and you do business with people in China, they won't do business with you until they get drunk with you. For the reason is when you are intoxicated, your
The
guard is
true-
down and
the
the true
true
you comes
person
out.
comes
And that's a
out.
fact in China, okay? Now, if you're drunk or high in America and you're talking shit, that's your real person. No offense.
Interesting.
But
That's
we,
your real
we treat it
personality.
like an excuse. Like,
Right.
Oh, he was just really drunk
I was
today.
super stoned or
No,
I was
right.
super drunk and I didn't know what I
Drunk
was saying.
words are
Bull
sober
crap.
thoughts.
That's right.
Oh, Lindsay,
That's right.
very.
So
Look
like,
at you.
Heady.
That's the name of the show.
Drunk words
are sober thoughts.
It's
That's
true.
the name of the show,
Like,
I gotta
John.
your
write that
guard is
down.
down, and you
Good job, Lindsay.
you prevent yourself from voicing these things that are normally in your brain naturally, and suddenly you're saying who you truly are. And I think
I
on a
agree with you.
podcast where you just sit there and you get high or drunk or whatever the whole time, I think you should take it at face value. This is who he is as a person.
Agree. He thinks those thoughts. I agree with
He
you,
thinks
Lynn.
these thoughts regularly.
And they, granted, they're old clips.
they
And
come
granted,
out
he
quickly.
thinks these thoughts
well, because
regularly.
they just
There's
slip out
two
without
clips
thought.
They just slip
over
out.
like 20 years.
Agree.
He gets a piece of information and it automatically just comes out of his mouth. That is like on the forefront of his brain.
All right.
That's not a subconscious thought. That's just something that it came out. He didn't think about it. It just
I agree.
without
It
hesitation.
seemed to me like he was just free flowing, just talking when that happened. And I don't know if he's racist. I mean, I don't know if like he hates African Americans. Obviously, he doesn't. He hangs out with African Americans. He has African American guests and stuff like that. I just think in his mind, he just thinks differently. That's the way I feel. And I think, like Lindsay said, I think when you think that way, you can't really, like I'm not worried about saying stuff like that because I don't think that way. Like, and I'm on the air for 120 plus hours talking and nothing like this has ever slipped out. You know why? Because my brain doesn't freaking think like that. And if your brain does think like that, sometimes you mess up like Joe Rogan did. And I really think deep down inside, he's got race issues in his head that he hasn't dealt with.
And a lot of people are raised with those kinds of thoughts
Right.
because that's what they were raised with.
Even
but
today.
there are
But
ways
that doesn't mean
to
you can't get
deconstruct
over it. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's ways to deconstruct it. There's ways to go about it where
Expose
that's
yourself.
not your immediate reaction to certain things. You got to expose yourself to other cultures.
That's
You got to
Right.
learn. You got to
Understand
educate
people.
yourself.
Right.
You
Look at
gotta
where we
talk
live.
to people.
Absolutely.
Look at where we live. Right? It's
we
a very
are lucky,
diverse city.
We are lucky that
I
we live in a
think
diverse area.
Living in Northwest Indiana has definitely given me a foot up on
Agreed,
connecting
Lindsay.
with people because you go down south. When I was in Bloomington, they had people who had never seen
Right.
other
That's right.
races, had no idea how to interact with them.
All right.
Thanks.
We had the
Locomotive.
show.
Thanks, Linz. That was
Yeah.
good discussion. Wrap it up.
I
Yeah.
really
So
don't like
sorry
that.
about the Tommy DiCarlo. We're going to blame that one on our business manager, Steve.
Oh, God. Be
Yeah.
nice to
You know
him.
he's listening to.
Yeah.
The man is asleep.
Okay, and
Not
don't
Steve
forget, we're raising
DiCarlo.
money for Max Moore. The link
We
is
went
on.
up $150 in the last half hour.
Good job,
is-
everybody. Keep it going.
We want to go more. So I'm trying to get this GoFundMe account to 10,000, and I'm hoping you can help me get there. So we're going to close it out on Thursday, and the goal is to have 10,000 so that I can get a haircut. And if not, I'm just going to get a cool fade from Freddie Fades. So, fades are cool too. So anyway, everybody, thank you for listening to LOCPOD. Thanks, Kevin, for doing a great show and bringing in your expert viewpoint. Thanks again, Lindsay. It's great to see you, sweetie.
Thanks.
Jay Vez, nice to see you. Good job.
Yes. Always good to disagree with everybody in the.
It's all right,
in the
man.
room.
It's all right. It's good.
High
That's why
five.
people listen. And
High
again, don't forget to raise money for Max Moore. And this is coming to you live from Munster and the Locomotive saying LOCPOD out. Take care, everybody.